Back in the unit today, and while we're waiting for the wheels to fully cure, I'm getting a spot so we can get these tyres onto those wheels as well. What we're going to look at doing is a few little bits on the Porsche. Some are replacements of things that aren't working correctly, like my window switch. Some of these buttons are broken and I'd like to get that replaced. So this isn't a brand new one from Porsche, it's actually from AliExpress, so as you can imagine, a lot cheaper. I've got little gimmicky things like this just for the fuel cap. I'm going to give this a go, which is basically a keyless start. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether this is going to work on mine because mine isn't a keyless start, keyless entry, but I'm going to give it a go, see what happens. We've also got things like the front and rear camera, so we're going to see how easy that is to fit into the system, and obviously that's just protection for yourself as you're driving and might even lower your actual insurance premiums. We're going to be fitting these lights which will go underneath the door and provide you that sort of entry welcome light on the floor. We've got these LED lights and these are all bulbs for the interior. Another thing that I got myself, couldn't resist, these illuminate, and these come on the Platinum Edition later models of the Porsche Cayenne, and again it's just another nice feature when you open the actual doors. These will all be illuminated, and again it matches in with all the acid green features across the car, so really looking forward to getting these in. These were quite an expensive purchase. These are original Porsche, but I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be able to retrofit these yet because I doubt I'll have any electrics down there. But we'll give it a go, we'll see what happens, and I'll let you guys know how we get on with all of this stuff, kind of jump in and out of each bit of the parts, and hopefully by the end of it be able to show you guys what we've done and what was worth it, what wasn't. Right, so I think we'll start with a couple of easy ones. We'll do the fuel cap and we'll also try out this little toggle switch. I'll keep the key in my pocket and just see whether it starts. As I say, doubtful that this is going to work, but we'll give it a go now. Okay, so I've got the key here. Normally with mine, I'd have to plug it in, turn it, that's my car. But let's give this a go. And there we go. So no, that will not work. So if you do wish to do this, you do need the self-start. You can't just use that and keep it in there. So never mind, that's a no-go, but I think it's good for everyone to know whether that actually works or not, but we will be sticking with the original key. Okay, so for something we know 100% will work, we're going to be looking at switching out this fuel cap for this one. And there's no real differences here. It's not actually proper aluminium or anything, it is just a bit of a slightly nicer look there. So dead easy, this, just remove that with a pick. It is like a semicircle there, so you'll be able to just turn it round, pull it off with a bit of a angled pick. And then as for the new one, you do actually get a few different variations of these. Obviously we'll be able to fit on different Porsches. Match it with the one that you've got, so you're looking at matching this rubberized bit here. It's not as nice a rubber as that, to be honest, but again, what do you expect for a bit of a cheaper item? It's not Porsche. Now to get this around and on, it's easier to do it from the top rather than the bottom. As you can see, it's a bit more chamfered and you've not got all of that to go over. You want to slot it into these channels here, and what I'm trying to do is just make sure that this is at the right placement for that, but I'm sure you'll be able to twist that around if not. And there you go. So now, a bit of a tight fit I must say. Not 100% certain on that and the way it's seating in there and sealing, so I've gone back to the original. There we go. Right, so we're going to move on to the logos now. So as you can see, all it's doing at the minute is just illuminating. So we'll switch these in, see what happens. Now all you should need is just a bit of a trim tool, literally get from the top, up it down, and then you'll see the lens actually will come off first some occasions, but that's not a problem. You've not broke it, just need to clip it back in. And then, as you can see there, just a bit of a dull white. Take that off, plug this one in, and I must say, clip isn't the best to go in there, but hopefully you can see that there. You've now got the Porsche sign on the floor when you enter the car. I'm going to do this on all the doors, and we'll show you in the dark how it really looks. Next job, bit of maintenance really. We're going to swap over the driver's side window switch. Looking at switches side by side, as I say, this is not an original one, but there's no difference there whatsoever. As you can see, a little bit of chrome's missing from that one, and they just don't feel the best. Obviously they've been worn over time, so it's to be expected, But yeah, we'll switch them over, and it should be as simple as just pulling it out from the top side, looking at this here. So we'll give it a go now. Right, so for getting this out, what I would say is just get a trim tool. That's all you're going to need. It will pop out from the top. Do the back first. Keep the back up, and then just try and get this trim tool down into the gap at the front. Keep some pressure on it to come up, and there you go. That's that out now. We'll swap it for the new one once we've unplugged it. With the new one in now, what we're going to make sure is that all the buttons work. Now, knowing that all those buttons work, we're going to simply push it back into place. There we have it. It does look like it's not quite the right size, so that's a bit of annoyance. Let's see whether we can actually change this back in, and then it should work. Okay guys, so we're actually in now, and that ain't moving. It's solid. What I found was the actual little clips that you got, like the aluminium retainers, they're a lot better in your original, and that's where the cheaper alternatives are basically no good unless you can steal from the original. So luckily I was in the position where I could, because I only had the buttons that were damaged. The retainers have gone on there now, and yeah, that's as good as new. So yeah, I'm happy with that, and now having that missing little bit of chrome trim is not going to annoy me anymore. Looking at these now, it's a nice little kit that we've got here, and it's actually all labelled as to where these LED lights should be in terms of replacements. We've got the door lights. We're not going to need those because we've just changed them for the Porsche ones. We seem to have a random one there and spare lights there, so I don't know what they might have been for, but we'll chuck them to one side. We'll go through now. We'll do maybe the glove box. I know the tailgate lights could do with being done, so we'll do those as well. And then I'll have a look at what we've got for the rest of it. So we'll have a see, because I think that I've got LED anyway, or they're quite a bright light anyway, but let's go and have a look. So your trunk lights are essentially going to be these ones, so we'll be swapping these out. Again, nice and easy with a trim tool. You should be able to just pop these three. On this, what we will want to do is actually pull off the actual front casing to allow us to access that bulb. In terms of the actual lights in here, no need for me to actually make any changes to these. They're all LED crisp white anyway, so I'll save those for another car. Right guys, so we kind of skipped ahead a little bit here, and I'll try and catch you up. I didn't realise that my camera wasn't filming, unfortunately, but we've taken out the main light. This is where your plug is going to be that you want to connect this front camera to. So we're looking at basically just plugging that straight in there, and then that then gives you your original plug back, and that's going to be your feed for your front camera. So with that in, hopefully we're going to have enough room to get this in and through. So the new camera, this is going to be utilised in the same position as what your original piece was around the rear view mirror. And you've got actually two plugs here. So we've got one that's going to basically give us power, which is this one, and this would be a feed to your rear view camera. Now I'm not going to mount the rear view camera on this, so I'll just plug this one in, and we'll take this one out of the way, and then we'll test it as well. Just hear it clip into place, and there we have it. That should be exactly where we want it now. So what I'm going to do before we do anything else, I'm going to plug this in, make sure it actually works, and then we'll go to tidy it all up afterwards. So we have some lights on the side here, so that's a positive start. Let's get the phone out and see whether I can actually get it to run, whether I can get the app to talk to it, and as long as we can, we'll box it all up. Just setting up the app now, and all I should have to do, connected to the Wi-Fi for this, is just press connect, and it should bring up my front camera. There we go. So this is now essentially got the recording on pause because I've not got a memory card in this at the minute, but as soon as I get one of those in, it should be able to record and then loop back, and I'll be able to pull files from this, just going into the settings, and you've got things like speaker volume, sound recording, which I'll turn off, video resolution, speaker volume, loop recording duration, so 1 minute. So that's basically what it's going to save the files as, so it'll be 1 minute files every time, and then as soon as your memory card's maxed out, it'll go back to the start, and then it'll start doing it in 1 minute increments again, writing over your old files. You can even actually get a time lapse on there, which is pretty cool. Collision detection, this is if your car's parked up and you've got anyone that's hitting your car, basically this will then activate even though your car's powered down. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, really impressed with that actually. The fact that it's 4K, it's quite a wide lens on there. So yeah, that was a nice simple install. I was actually expecting it to be a little bit harder than that. Now all I've got to do is put everything back together and that's one more job done. So that's the front camera now mounted, and what I'll do, I'll go out the front, show you guys from the front, and we'll move on to what's probably going to be the hardest of the day, which is getting them illuminated kick plates in. Guys, before we move on to the illuminated kick plates we're going to do next, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button for the video and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Thank you very much for all the support. Let's get back to it. Okay, so the plan is going to be switching out these original ones for these. Now, underneath these, I've checked on the other side. I know there's definitely no feed already in the car. So what I've done, I've had a look online, and there are a few things that people have said to do. One is to tap into this light here. So you've got one on either side in the footwell. So what I'm going to look at doing is essentially just getting a couple of pieces of wire. I'll tap into those. I'll then pop this open, pop that one in, and basically just plug in. Right guys, so just before I get this all sort of plugged in, I want to show you guys how I've kind of tested this theory that I've got about actually plugging these in and copying what I found on one of the threads into the ambient lighting in the footwells. Now I've got this here, which is basically the plug for the downlight for the footwell in the front, and I've basically put that and connected that onto my illumination to the back. I have cut the plugs off, but if I was ever to swap these and trade them back out because they are originals, I'm going to retain the plugs and I can just solder them back together. But now if I put the dome light on, there you have it. We've got illuminated kick plates, so really happy that that's going to work. So I'll get to it now with getting these installed and I'll show you guys the end result. Right guys, sit rep, we're actually in the back of the car now. I've had a think, and what I've found is that if I actually wire in the footwell lights, then they're going to be illuminated all the time. Now obviously we don't want that. We want these to only illuminate as the door's opening. Now in an ideal world, what we'd do is we'd use the puddle lights that we fitted today, we'd wire into those, but I can't work out on the car side, not the door side, what wires I need to tap into there. I've tried to scroll the web, see if I can find any wiring diagrams. It's not coming to me. So what we're going to look at doing as an alternative is actually tapping into the illumination lights. Now what you'll find is these will light up as you open and close the doors. Obviously if you put your full ambient lighting on while you're driving, they're going to illuminate, but as soon as you set off, they will dim and go off, or after so long that you've been sat in the car, they'll dim and go off. So that, I think, is going to be the best way for me to tie these in and get them to function correctly without staying on all the time whilst you're driving. And I've just spent some time as well with the actual wires, just trying to work out what's what. So the ones I want to be tapping into here are, you've got a brown for the ground and you've got a blue that we want to be going into for our live, because the blue, if I press this to turn the light off, that blue gets no feed then. So that's what we're going to be tapping into. If there is anyone watching this video that does know how to do this, tap into them puddle lights, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to actually find what colour wires that we actually need to tap into at the front, and I will come back to this and redo it that way. Alternatively, if you guys are looking to do this, the best way I've found is to do exactly this. Right guys, so I've managed to successfully do the passenger side, so I'm going to move on to the driver's side now, get this bit done. I'll show you guys a little bit more on this side of how I'm doing it. So initially, all you want to do is just pull this out, and it's here, as I say, where you're going to be wiring in. We're now going to look at taking the kick plate out itself. It simply comes out with a trim tool, and as through the whole of the plastic now, it's just a matter of taking your time, easing your way around, being gentle but not being shy. There we go. The main one that you want to be looking at getting out is this B-pillar here. That's where we're going to be feeding the cables. I should have just enough now to be able to get underneath there, and then I will need to just Dremel a hole into this, so I'll need to pull this out completely, or at least just enough to lift up to do so. What I'm doing is I'm just feeding this cable through, and the plan is to get it so that, if you can see it there, through and down whilst not disturbing the curtain airbag. we can now just pull it through and we'll feed it down the B pillar, feed it to the front, and then we'll feed another wire from front to back to go into this kick plate. Right, so I've now fished this wire through down here around the back. Just make sure when you are feeding it through that you are avoiding anything like seat belts and things like that. Chopped off the cable here, and now what we need to do is we need to see where it's going to sit. So what I'm going to do, that's going to sit about there in terms of where my connections are going to need to be. So I'm going to Dremel a hole through there, feed this up and through, then I'll cut this and solder these two. Fed the wire through there now. What we'll do, we'll connect these up, push that back down into place, just making sure that you're not snagging any of your actual cable. And then we'll also put a feed in now for the rear one, so we'll do that at the same time. And then what we'll do, we'll go backwards, make sure everything's nice and tidy, and then finally we'll go back up here and we'll wire into that last. So I've actually fed the cable back around the back of here. On the back one you do actually have like an opening, so you can use that. What you will need to do is just Dremel down some of these so the cables won't snag on anything. Soldered these already now, so basically ready to dress those. Do some more on the Dremel and then we can sit that one in position. That's us fully soldered in now on every joint, so moment of truth, I'm going to plug this in. Okay, so we are on there and we are illuminated. Just finishing up editing this video for you guys now, and I've been really impressed with all the add-ons that we've basically got through in this video. Obviously we had a bad start with a couple of those items that I purchased that I kind of knew could have been on the cusp of actually working, not working, or being poor quality, to be expected with the likes of AliExpress, Alibaba parts sometimes. But other than that, with the rest of the installs and retrofits that I've managed to do, especially those illuminated kick plates, I'm really impressed with how they've turned out. It gives it more of a premium feel and really ties in the acid green features throughout the e-hybrid model. It's subtle changes like that that I want to continue to do on this Porsche, continue to improve it, continue to add, retrofit any of the spec, any of the optional extras that I might not have got in mind. One of those being the 360 camera, so we'll be getting that in at some point as well, so I'll do a video on that. And I'd be really interested as well to know if there are any other random optional extras that you think are good, worthy of sort of adding to the car, or if you just want to see whether they can be done. Drop me a comment below and let me know as well what spec options have you got in your Cayenne. Be really interested to find out the variation of specs and what's good to have, what you think isn't really worth sort of adding or isn't worth having. And as always guys, thank you very much for watching, especially if you're still here at the end of the video. Really appreciate your support. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel and please hit that like button. Really helps share the videos and promote the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.